This is one of the biggest misconceptions people have. Have you ever wondered why you keep trying to please others, even when you feel exhausted and overwhelmed? Most people believe that being nice is the key to being liked. But the truth is entirely different. Strong, lasting relationships aren't built on artificial agreeableness, but on authenticity. Today, I'm going to share with you a secret about Keanu Reeves that no one else will tell you. Something incredibly simple, yet essential to freeing yourself from exhaustion. Stay until the end to discover how self-respect can change your life. Many people become kind to others not because that's their true nature, but because they fear rejection or crave approval. They start overcompensating, going out of their way to make someone else comfortable, fulfilling their every need, just to ensure they appear easygoing and agreeable, never opposing anything. But let me tell you this, real, lasting relationships are not built on forced kindness. They are built on authenticity. Being authentic means showing up as your true self, unapologetically, with your personality, interests, and boundaries intact. Very few people are drawn to someone who only nods in agreement, lacks opinions, and never stands up for what they truly want. Instead, they are attracted to those who exude confidence and are unafraid to say, "This is me. Take it or leave it." When you try too hard to be nice while neglecting your own needs, you lose yourself. You become a version of what you think they want rather than letting them see who you really are. And let's be honest, what happens when you prioritize being agreeable over self-respect? It drains you, doesn't it? You constantly second-guess yourself. Did I say the right thing? Did I do enough? Did I make them happy? Meanwhile, you forget the most important question. Are you happy? Because the reality is, when your kindness comes at the cost of your self-worth, it's not real kindness. It's just a performance, a mask. And sooner or later, that mask will fall. But here's the secret. Respect is always more valuable than mere kindness. When you respect yourself, when you have the courage to be honest, to express your needs, and to stand your ground, you set the standard for how others treat you. That respect is what makes people truly value you, not self-sacrificing kindness that erases who you are. And once you realize this, everything changes. Instead of seeking approval by constantly pleasing others, you build genuine relationships based on admiration, honesty, and mutual respect. Because people can sense when you're not being true to yourself. Sure, they might enjoy being around someone who always agrees with them, never says no, and constantly caters to their desires. But eventually, that becomes boring. They will crave a deeper connection, and that connection can only exist when you are truly yourself. So don't just strive to be nice. Be real. Speak your mind. Don't shrink yourself out of fear of disappointing others. Show that you are confident enough to express your thoughts, desires, and personality, even if it makes some people uncomfortable. Because the right people, the ones who genuinely deserve you, will never be repelled by your true self. They will be drawn to it. Authenticity is magnetic. It creates a connection that mere politeness never can. And when you stop living to please others and start respecting yourself, you'll see a shift, not just in how others treat you, but in how you see yourself. And when you stand firm in your values, when you show up as the fullest version of yourself, that's when you attract real, lasting love. The first thing you need to do is establish clear boundaries. Boundaries are the foundation of a healthy relationship, yet so many people misunderstand them, fearing that setting boundaries will push others away or create distance. But the truth is, boundaries are not walls. They are principles that help you define what makes you feel respected and safe. Setting boundaries doesn't isolate you. It attracts those who truly respect you. Many people mistakenly believe that being agreeable and always accommodating others makes them more attractive. They endure discomfort, tolerate behavior that goes against their values, and say yes, even when they want to say no, just to avoid conflict and maintain harmony. But when you do this, you send a message that your feelings and needs don't matter. And once that pattern is established, changing it becomes even harder. The truth is, people don't respect those who blindly follow others. They respect those who think clearly and confidently. When you assert your boundaries firmly, you're not being difficult. You're showing that you understand your worth. And that is powerful. It sends a clear message that you know what you deserve and won't settle for less. The right people will respect your boundaries, while the wrong ones will either try to break them or walk away. And that's a blessing. Because when the wrong people leave, they make space for the right ones to enter your life. Setting boundaries also teaches others how to treat you. If you constantly sacrifice your happiness to please others, you're sending the message that your needs can be ignored. But when you establish firm boundaries, you set a new standard, one built on mutual respect. You're not just demanding respect, you're demonstrating what self-respect looks like. And remember, learning to say no is only part of the journey. You must also learn when to say yes. Say yes to things that bring value to your life, align with your vision, and support your goals. Say yes to relationships where you are heard, seen, and appreciated, not just tolerated for your willingness to please others. Say yes to love that empowers you instead of draining you. When you enter a relationship with confidence and a clear understanding of your worth, you naturally attract people who are ready to appreciate you. The beauty of boundaries is that they provide clarity. They protect you from unnecessary stress because you no longer waste energy wondering whether something is acceptable. You've already defined what is and isn't okay. This allows you to focus on building relationships based on trust, sincerity, and mutual respect. And that is the foundation of a meaningful, lasting connection. So never be afraid to set boundaries. They are not signs of rigidity, but proof that you love yourself. And remember, the right people won't see your boundaries as barriers. They'll see them as a guide on how to love and respect you the right way. Sincerity is one of the strongest foundations of a lasting relationship, yet countless people feel pressured to hide their true selves in order to please those around them. Many believe that if they always smile even when they're hurting, agree with every opinion, and mold themselves into what others expect, they will be loved and accepted. But at what cost? When you hide your true self, you don't just lose yourself. You create a false version of who you are. That means the affection and attention you receive aren't for you, but for that fabricated image. This is why sincerity is so important, because a lasting relationship cannot be built on pretense, but on trust and authenticity. Someone who truly cares about you doesn't love perfection. They love sincerity, confidence, and the courage to be yourself. When you embrace your individuality, your flaws, your unique perspectives, you radiate a kind of attraction that is entirely your own. This confidence is powerful because it sends a clear message to the world. This is me, and I am enough. And when you live by that, you also give others the freedom to be their true selves. Sincerity builds trust, and trust is the foundation of any meaningful relationship. Of course, not everyone will appreciate the real you, and that's perfectly okay. The right people won't just accept your authenticity, they will cherish it. They will see it as what makes you special, irreplaceable. And if someone cannot accept your true self, if they want to change you, if they make you feel like you're too much or not enough, then they are simply not the right person for you. That is not a loss, it is a gift. Because when you stop chasing approval and start embracing who you truly are, you set yourself free. You break away from the exhausting cycle of trying to be a perfect version of yourself and step into a reality where you can simply be. And that is your greatest power. That is when you become truly magnetic, not because you're trying to be, but because authenticity naturally shines through. It cannot be denied. It is powerful, and it draws people in the most genuine way. You don't need to become someone else to be loved, respected, or admired. In fact, the more you live in alignment with who you truly are, the more you open the door to real connections, ones built not on pretense, but on sincerity. Let your authenticity be your greatest strength, because that is the one thing no one can ever replicate. Self-worth is the foundation upon which the world decides how to treat you. The way you see yourself dictates the respect, love, and value others assign to you. Too many people have been conditioned to believe that being a good person means always saying yes, always putting others first, always striving to please, even when it drains them completely. But true self-worth is not measured by how much you can endure. It is defined by how well you recognize your own value and refuse to settle for less than what you deserve. When you constantly prioritize others while neglecting your own needs, you send a message that your feelings don't matter, that your time is not valuable, and that your happiness is disposable. And that's when everything starts to fall apart. When you give too much, when you sacrifice yourself for approval or to preserve relationships, you slowly lose sight of who you are. The more you ignore your own needs, the more disconnected you become from yourself. But here's the truth. When you respect yourself, you set the standard for how others should treat you. You don't need to beg for love, respect, or validation, because when you carry yourself with confidence, the right people will naturally be drawn to your energy. When you truly understand and appreciate your worth, you no longer have to chase anyone, overextend yourself, or constantly prove your value. You simply exist as you are, and that is enough. And when you stop seeking external validation, you begin to honor your own boundaries. You no longer tolerate disrespect. You no longer entertain relationships that drain you. You no longer lower your standards just to keep someone in your life. This doesn't mean you become distant or unkind. It means you are strong enough to say no to anything that does not align with your values, and you don't feel guilty for it. Because at the end of the day, self-worth is about self-respect. If you don't value yourself enough to demand what you need, how can you expect anyone else to do it for you? When you truly know your worth, you send a message to the world that your presence is not something to be taken for granted. And when you walk with that kind of certainty, the world will begin to see you with the respect, admiration, and recognition that you rightfully deserve. If this video resonates with you, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to explore more meaningful content. Authenticity is more powerful than you think, just like Keanu Reeves' vibe. Do you dare to be your true self? Share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear your story. And don't forget to come back for the next video, because the journey of self-discovery has so much more to offer. Thank you for watching.